All right, we are going to start. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 218 of the Guardian Up podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview guests, and talk about our love of the game. And this week, we have a fun, chill episode with just kind of a round table of people, friends of the show. We have, of course, Des Raven tonight as co-host along with me. We do not have Sin, but we lose one Sin. We gain three other people. We have friends of the show, Rodimus, RNG Gator, and Miner. How you guys doing?
Well, I'm told I have to act like Sin, but enjoy white sauce, though. That's what I was told.
Do you like white sauce?
Oh, I love white sauce.
Okay,
white
so
sauce.
then
Yeah.
you're invited. And RNG likes white sauce. Miner, what about
Absolutely.
you? Okay, we're in good company.
Yeah, we're all good now.
We're all good. We're all on the same page. I'm glad we're all coming from
White sauce in and around my mouth, please.
Sounds good. But it's like, what do they have, like counseling? We're all on the same page. We're all coming from the same spot, so we're all friends here.
Hi, my name is Rodimus, and I like white sauce.
Hi, Rodimus. Oh, I thought
Hi,
we were doing it at the same time.
When's the last time you had some white sauce?
3 days ago.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Sounds
Does
good.
ranch Kyle has white sauce?
Yes.
I made
Okay, I
an
had it
egg
just- I had
salad
it tonight.
sandwich.
Ooh.
You had eggs, and you had some today, RNG, some ranch.
Yep.
Nice. I don't. Sometimes, okay. When I said it, I said like ranch. I don't know why I said it like that.
Okay.
Master nerd coming in. And
I'm from the South. You're not hurting my
So
feelings.
you're making fun of you, aren't
Yeah,
you?
but I don't talk like that. But for some, it just kind of came out. I was like, yeah, you had some ranch, but normally I don't have that type of accent.
I'm glad I could help.
get that twang in your voice going on.
Oh, all right. Well, everyone, let's see. Let's just talk about what other things we've been doing real quick because I saw RNG. You're playing Spider-Man. How was that game?
I love it. I'm just trying to finish it. I keep coming back to it. I'm
Mhm.
about 62% of the campaign done. I'm just
Thanks.
I'm at the point of just running around trying to complete everything. I'm trying to 100% it, and I'm probably never going to beat the game at that rate. But what the hell?
One of those games that has tons of stuff in it.
Oh yeah, I go to every district and just try to do everything I haven't done.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
I've been
And
playing Diablo 4 also, but I haven't been back there since I went on vacation.
oh, gotcha. Nice. And we haven't really talked about, the Final Fantasy is out. Anyone play that? I heard the demo was amazing.
I finished the demo yesterday, and it was really good. I was really impressed.
My son
So-
bought it for the PS5. And my son bought it, and he's loving it. I don't get into the Final Fantasy games as much as he does, but he's been playing it nonstop.
Well, there's a good news.
Yeah.
About this one in particular. And that is, if you're not a huge fan of RPGs, this might be the Final Fantasy for you.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Yeah. I'm looking at a picture here that almost makes it look closer to Diablo than
No, not
ever
Diablo.
before. Okay, man, we're looking at the wrong picture.
Close.
Well, no, the thing is, after Devil May Cry 5 came out, the that was in charge of developing that combat left Capcom. He was hired by Square Enix and put on Final Fantasy 16 to help with that combat. So if you're a fan of action games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, that
Yeah.
style,
Yes.
I
you're
might
going
enjoy
to
it.
love. Yeah, you're going to love this because this is the best action RPG Square Enix has ever produced. I haven't been able to get my hands on it, but from people that have not only played other Final Fantasy, like 15, for example, which was not a great action feel, and transitioning to this, and we're also other fans of other action games. This is it's fantastic.
Yeah, Batman wrote that too. Plays a little like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, if you say it plays like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, then I'm gonna love it because I love Bayonetta. I have it on the Switch.
Yes,
It
I
was
mean,
just playing the demo, I already and I was one of the few that really liked what was it, 15? And
Yeah.
just playing the demo of 16, I already like it's like this seems like it's going to be better than 15 was.
Yes, I have. Like I said, I haven't been able to get my hands on it, but I've already watched through the entire freaking story. Because I need help.
You get on the
Remember,
right
we're
TikTok
agreed
to
to
do
do
that.
We all
in
knew
2
that.
days.
You need help a lot of times. So.
I need help. But no, this story is absolutely fantastic. It is basically everything I thought it was going to be because of the person in charge, which from the fan, like I forget his real name because to the fans he's known as Yoshi P. And I think it's Yoshinori, perhaps. I forget. Like I said, because mainly when I hear about him, it says Yoshi P. But this is the guy that, after Final Fantasy XIV failed, they put him in charge to reboot it and relaunch it, and it has become an extraordinarily successful MMO ever since.
All right, on. I mean, this is
So
a
this is that
good.
guy.
This is a great summer to have other games. While I'm not playing Destiny, there's so much on my list. I started Zelda, got sidetracked by Diablo 4, Final Fantasy I'm interested in. I mean, there's
Yes.
tons to do. These huge games that aren't just like little small, like all these games can easily be put in 100 hours or more. And okay, I have plenty to do. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, but also don't underestimate 16 though. If when you get into it, it may play more like an action game, but this is still like a 40-hour-ish like RPG game. So
Yeah.
don't expect an 8 to 10 hour romp. This is still story heavy. But again, the story is absolutely fantastic. Hilariously, because reading through like the developmental notes and such, apparently one source for at least like the tone and feel of this game was the dev team all like bought and watched the box set of Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I believe it was season 4 that they mentioned specifically. But yeah, they like looked at that and it's like, okay, we want this kind of like feel and like, look to a degree. And it's pretty successful, I'd say. It does take like the good parts of like a political power struggle and really puts like a good twist on it. So yeah.
Rodimus, any other games you're playing besides Destiny?
I've been
Yoshida,
kind of
thank you.
Cyberpunk for a little bit. Since
Cyberpunk?
I've upgraded
Yeah.
my graphics card and my monitor, so I was able to go enjoy that a little bit better than the first time I played it.
Nice. And that DLC's coming out, what, August, September, or something
Yeah,
like that?
like August,
Okay.
late August, early September, I think.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Hey.
so I'm playing a different character that I did last time, so get a new perspective on it. So
Before I forget, because Minor, you have not been on our show before, if I'm
Have
correct.
not.
So I have some questions for you for
All right,
people to
let's
get
do
to
it.
know Minor. All right, tell us your name. No, we know your name.
where are you from, your last voice, social security number, and
Yep.
your mother's maiden name.
And and then we're good. Then you can just leave because we'll have all your information.
Don't
There
forget
you
your
go.
credit card number before
Yep.
you leave either.
One. Oh,
Oh, but Minor. Okay, so you've been in the community for a bit, but I just have a couple basic questions, and then we can talk about that. But these are just fun questions. Where's one place you would like to live other than where you currently live? And you can tell us where you currently live if you'd like.
right now I'm living in Central Oregon.
Oh, where?
Bend.
Bend. We have a property up in southern Washington near Vancouver, so I'm always in the
Oh.
Portland area.
There you go. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a big tourist season here. So, you got a lot of just a lot of outdoor attractions. So we get a lot of tourists to come here any time of the year. Like where I live specifically, you could drive to, I think, 3 different ski resorts in the wintertime. I think the closest one is about 20, 30 minutes away.
Nice.
So, yeah, the biggest one is like an hour away. So, yeah. Anywhere else? Hell, I don't know. Honestly, I never thought about it.
Yeah, it's okay. And you do live in a
Probably
pretty cool
anywhere
area.
with good Wi-Fi and less people.
Less people. Gotcha.
Being in a tourist town, it's kind of rough because
Yeah.
with my job, I drive a big truck in town, so it's like a lot of tourist people don't know how to drive here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I live in Salt Lake, Utah, and the tourist town around here is Park City. And my wife used to work in Park City for a while, and that's a tourist, and yeah, it's crazy during certain seasons. She's just trying to get to work, and just people are crazy everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Batman wrote that. He knows that from working at Disney World. I used to work at Disneyland, so I kind of got that a little bit in a smaller sense.
Good thing no one visits Detroit, so I'm good. It's the northern part of the state that people go to here. So
Yeah. Well, and real quick, since you mentioned that, Rodimus, and I want to get back to Minor, how are you doing? Are you guys all under like red skies right now, brown skies?
it's hazy, but I think it's from Parks and Rec. The one guy, I think is around Burgundy, wants to send a letter to Canada.
Yeah,
if we could
it
send
is,
one
it
and
is.
tell them to F off, it would be great.
Yeah, I saw that episode. So when he's like, "How much postage to send something to Canada?" Like, well, what do you want to send them? I want to send a message, tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, maybe you can build a wall to block the smoke. But
yeah, no,
anyways,
we're in this whirlwind of smoke coming. It's like us to the northeast of the part of the country too. So it's just a big circle. So we'll get it like 2 good days and 2 bad days, and 2 good days and 2 bad days.
Welcome
Okay.
to Central Oregon in about August. That's what we got to put up with every summer.
Yeah, we've had that. Yeah, we've had the last few years, and we get it. We get all the California and Oregon fires. They go over to Utah eventually, and
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping this year will be better because of all the extra moisture we've had and generally cooler temperatures. I know it's warming up finally, but we will see.
Yeah, the air quality is absolute dog shit right now, and it's like can't go outside and do anything because it's so bad.
Mm.
Ours was an orange today. It's actually reached down here to North Carolina too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I could see a haze. You walk out and the blue sky was gray because of the smoke.
Yeah, we had a couple years ago. We had here one of the passes that we drive over to get to like Portland area. The air quality was so bad. Like they say, the air quality index is like, when it gets up to 200-300s, it's really bad. Like really bad. Don't go outside. And it was like in the 600s here. Like it was absolutely terrible. And I mean, it was devastation. People losing their homes, like they would just go back to nothing. A couple of the firefighters actually lost their engines because they couldn't get out fast enough. I don't think anybody died, but yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, those huge forests. I mean,
Yep.
when you get a fire started, I'm sure it's the situation in Canada too. It's hard to stop it. You have just
Yeah.
trees everywhere.
Yeah, we are in an air quality alert until the 1st. So
Yep.
Interesting.
it's not very fun.
Well, Miner, how full is your vault? I assume you play Destiny.
Yes, I do. I actually just finished getting the catalyst for the Navigator here about, I don't know, an hour ago.
Nice.
Couple of friends. My vault is around 580, 590. I got to go back through it. I was kind of annoyed the last time they did the DLC. I wasn't paying attention because they raised the light of everything or the power level of everything. And the last time they did that, they raised every power level up. I got rid of everything that I hadn't used for, the last 6 months or so. And that took me down to about 450. And then, that's been over a year now because I did that before Witch Queen. So now it's back up to 580, 590. But I'm going to go through it here again pretty soon and just trash a bunch of stuff. Because, I mean, honestly, I mostly use the crafted weapons once I get them. and I won't really use anything else. I'm not a big hand cannon guy, so I get rid of a bunch of those. The only armors I have are the exotics that I want to keep, and the rest are just weapons, and most of them I don't use.
Yeah.
But that weapon
Well,
can
right
be
on.
good in like 4 seasons. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I see that, and I'm not that kind of player. Like I could literally go in there right now and just switch it to that. When was the last time you put anything in the vault kind of thing, and then just go to the end and just start deleting them. I still have that time lost fate bringer that I'm not going to get rid of, and those kind of things. But other than that, it's like, what's the point? Most of the time when someone says, "Oh, you need this," it's like, well, I have, one of these, and oh yeah, no, that'll be fine. You can use that. So
If
there's always an
exactly,
equivalent somewhere.
if the exact same attitude that I have on this, I highly recommend everyone listen to an episode with Dan Finity. Shout out, we've had him on our show in the past, but this was an episode on the Blueberry Lounge a couple weeks ago. And he has the exact same mentality. I agree with kind of what you're saying too. We have too many weapons in the game and everything.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are, yes, there's new perks and stuff, and if you want to chase that stuff, that's fine, that's fun. But if you start having too much stuff in your vault, there is stuff you can do. You can just kind of clean house and not worry about it. And I'll tell you what, other than a handful of just your A-tier weapons that you're always going to use, there's always going to be something good that season you can get. It's not like we're going to be playing a season and none of the weapons are good, and they're like, oh, dang it, I wish I had my so-and-so pulse from 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, you have things like the Taraxipos and all those weapons you get during those special events. But say like you have a bunch of arc submachine guns. Well, I mean, if you have an Ikelos, you're pretty good on that front in its entirety. So just get rid of everything else. In my opinion, just get rid of everything else you have that's not crafted, because even if you have a crafted one and you don't have the roll that you want, you can go and change it.
Yeah.
So
I usually use dim. If it's got a thumbs up, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, it's gone.
there you go.
Yep. There's a lot of things you can do. Oh, well, right on. So let's talk some Destiny, everyone. And this is, I guess, per se, that as far as we know so far, the final week of the seasonal story. And we had a little cool mission at the end that, once again, they can't make these missions too hard. They got to make it doable for a single player, average Destiny player that isn't necessarily the greatest to finish.
This one was way too easy, though.
Really? I thought it was about the same easiness as most of them. You thought it was even easier? Because I hopped in it with Mr. Monkey, and it was quite easy, but I just felt like, well, yeah. And I wish they were longer, and I wish you could replay them without having to go on another character and run everything through, because regardless of how easy it was, I thought it was a good enough ending mission. So it's like, typical ending missions, like you hear all the voice lines, hurry, panic, we got to do stuff before everyone dies. I mean, not quite, but you know what I mean. And Asha is trying to get taken from a ritual with 3 wizards. And so you run through the room, you run through all the areas, you get to the final area, and it's way cool because when you get in that room, you can see Asha's eye looking through like a hole in the wall up higher. Did anyone else notice that?
Yeah, oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And it was all taken-ified. And then you got the 3 wizards there. One, was it the same name? Or I only caught Des. I don't know if you caught any of the names, but one was like Scream of Zavathun or something. Or Voice of Zavathun.
Yeah, I think they were different. Each one you killed was different.
But it's one of these typical things, like they're doing a ritual and you have to kill them. And yeah, it was easy enough. And yeah, Batman saying it kind of looked like the Crota Soul Room from Dark Below.
It did. I thought the same thing. I was like, this looks like something from a D1. The room did. It did.
Reused assets?
Like
no.
No, I'm just saying, I just got that feeling too. I was like, it looks like a room from a D1 thing.
Yeah.
It really did.
Which I thought was a sign of things to come. No, I'm kidding.
Shut up, Des.
Oh, and also some screaming about Sloane's arm. Hurry, we gotta before something happens there. I forget all the voice lines.
That was the last recording of Lance Reddick too.
Oh.
At the end,
At
when
the end,
when he talked to Sloan and everything, that's what happened. That was the last thing he recorded.
I'm gonna have to listen to that now. Sadly, I bypassed the mission and read the Veil containment or the Veil research log.
Whatever his
Listen.
name said it from Bungie. It was his last recorded message.
Gotcha.
With Bungie.
Gotcha.
I hope they do something good for him next in like a season or two. Like some kind of, hopefully something big, but at least some kind of like memorial for the character, like a good send off for the character. Like it's going to have to be something. It's going to have to be, yes, it's going to have to be something off screen though, because I mean,
unless they try some sort of AI thing with his voice, it's going to.
I honestly hope not. Like, I would prefer it personally to be an off screen event that happens, or maybe a non-speaking role or something.
Right.
Something happens somewhere. It's like, oh, Zavala was there, and then something like that.
Didn't Forbidden West just drop something in one of their zones for him?
They dropped a memorial to him in Forbidden West to Lance Reddick.
Nice.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, because he was in that the Horizon as well.
Silent.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
good.
it actually says it's actually a memorial that says Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick, yeah.
Like
yeah,
him himself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Bungie could do that if they really wanted to have some cross what's they call it, in like movie, like the fifth wall or whatever, but bring something in.
I mean, okay, I haven't seen it yet, but at least from what I've seen in like trailers, the thing I really liked what they did for Chadwick Boseman for the Black Panther sequel, and the fact that they basically, they buried his character. And like I said, I haven't seen the movie yet. Sadly, I keep meaning to get around to that, but like I said, at least from what it looks like, it's like they are using the character to memorialize the person at the very least, But no,
they did. Yeah.
As long as they don't pull a Fast and Furious, I'm fine. Okay.
No.
What? It's CGI?
No, not just CGI. I'm just the fact that technically, as far as I know, I haven't seen the last 3 or 4 of them or whatever. But as far as I know, Paul Walker's character is still alive, and the last Fast and Furious I watched made mention. It's like, oh, but why don't we reach out to this guy? And it's just a stab to the heart because it's like, dude, no.
Yeah, they still do it. I've seen the newest one, Fast X. They still mentioned that he's alive.
Oh
they just,
my god!
It's kind of that he's off somewhere, not on screen, but off somewhere. Because Mia's still there too. So
that's just that's what I don't like, because that's just, like I said, that's just like a painful reminder to me, anyway.
Yep. All right, and then at the end of the mission, we get, which it's not a total surprise for most people, but still pretty cool and dramatic confirmation. Now, the Witch Queen must rise.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Of course. But it was cool, the change of the voice too.
I think everybody in our community caught that, because I mean, Imamu disappeared at the end of Witch Queen, so of course she's going to rise at some point in time.
Yeah,
of course. She's not dead forever.
Sooner or later. Yeah,
exactly.
Just like how they did it. Still, even being expected, I like how they did it. It was, it was a perfect timing. It worked well, and then the drama when you go back to the helm, and everyone's like Saint and everyone
Saladin.
is pissed. Yeah, yep. They're like, we can't have this.
Yeah, Saint's like, I don't want to do this. I saw what they did to Osiris. Saladin's like, no, I don't trust her.
Yeah.
And then Zavala's over there. Well, what was it? Eris and Ikora have it under control. I'm like, Yeah, we're fucked.
This
The first thing went through my head, we're fucked.
this is the perfect time for unexpected allies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I'm expecting
Everything's
that's
getting
what's going to
twisted.
happen. It's not like Witch Queen will come back and then Sabathun will come back and then immediately like ha 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 and she blows up the tower and like it was a total worst case scenario. I think we work with her, and yes, there'll be some unexpected things where we get some downsides of working with her, but it's going to be one of those typical storylines where it's going to be upsides also.
Hey, we're gonna bring all these unexpected people to join us at the end, like Hazel said. We're all gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Even with hold hands with Sabathun, Oryx, and who knows?
Yep.
Well, you kind of got the hint though with the trailer for new expansion. How you had to work with old people.
Yes.
Final shape.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced Oryx will. I'm still not entirely convinced. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about.
It's just fun to think of the drama.
But no,
as like we're all.
Oh no, yeah,
100%. We're all friends. We're all working together.
But
it's a friend game.
Like I kept mentioning, like the famous time I was wrong was when I took my stance that Dres Jr. was a hunter. Wah wah.
Things can happen.
Years later, confirmation: he's Rezal Azir, a famous Titan. Damn it!
Not a hunter.
Because Bungie loves Titans.
Well, no, because one of the things I clung to was the fact that Dres Jr. had a cape in D1.
Right.
And yeah, sure, a former Bungie writer was like, "Oh, no, he's not a hunter." But it's like, then why did you give him a cape? Why give him a cloak if he's not a hunter? He's a hunter, right? He's associated with hunters. Hand cannons associated with hunters since D1. It's a thing, right? No, things happen.
Then give me a cloak for my Titan. Then I'll gladly wear it.
Saladin has one.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, that was my hill that I took a stance on, and it turned out not good.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Do we think? I mean, there's not really any other triumphs that show, but we know they could add more triumphs in the mid-season patch coming out. But do we think that this? I'm kind of guessing and thinking any exotic quest that comes out will be more integrated in the season than even in the past. And then, do we also think there might be like an epilogue story at the end, or maybe just one or the other?
I feel like there'll be an epilogue story at the end of the season. I feel like there's going to be something. I don't feel like that was everything. I really don't. To me, I don't.
Is it going to be that, or you think it's going to be hiding in this supposed exotic quest we're getting?
I mean, I've gotten the two pieces so far from Nessus and Throne World. So
yeah, and what a time in Destiny where I can be on the podcast and I'm just fishing. I did get my second exotic fish, but this is a perfect time to just do boring fishing and get the other fish so I can
next week
do the little legendary quest.
Yeah, it was funny that to the first quest since I was on vacation, I had to catch up, do Throne World this week. It took me almost completing that to platinum to get my exotic. I went and did Nessus a little bit the night on Tuesday, and then last night went and did it, caught about 4 fish and got an exotic, went and turned it in. Didn't have to complete the quest. So,
yeah.
I was like, wow.
But if you just want the exotics, and this is part of the TWID, but which we were going to talk about anyways, but you can wait till next week, and you'll have a higher chance for all 3 next week.
Because this lucky week for fishing.
Bungie something week?
Lucky week
or something like that.
Bungie Lucky Week? Is that what it was?
They're literally in the TWAB, they literally call it Lucky Week.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't get to read it today.
And that's on the 4th too, right? It's kind of funny how the reset will match up with the 4th. So, and it also seems like that would also be the time the exotic quest would come out, if it does. So we could be having fun on the 4th before other festivities if we happen to be available during the day playing Destiny.
Indeed.
At least I'm going to be available just in case something's going on in game.
Well, y'all let me know. I'm camping. I'll be like 20 minutes from my house at a camp. If it is, I'll drive home and do it.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will. I'm 10 minutes. I'm like 15 minutes from my house. Yes, I will.
He's gonna drop the kids and the wife off, and it's like, oh, I gotta go back to work.
They can stay at the campground.
I'll be
That's what they're gonna do
it.
all week. That's what they're gonna do all week anyway. I'm going to work from the campground, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Miner, have you done much fishing? What do you like to do in the game in general? Like, what's your favorite type of activities? You have your chance.
Honestly, whatever strikes my fancy. So, like, last week I did the fishing because I heard about that exotic fish. I forgot all about it this week. I was just running this past weekend, and then yesterday and today I've been running like jumping in LFGs, doing Root of Nightmares. Doing the dungeon, getting catalyst, that kind of thing. It's just other than that. And then I know everybody, but Gator, not RNG, but I know everybody but Gator is gonna hate me for this. But I usually just go get bounties and get all the bright dust I can because I'm a bright dust hoarder.
Nice. Do you buy a lot of stuff too, or you just like to have a lot just in case?
No,
Okay.
no. I actually buy a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Anything cool I can get with bright dust. I think I have around like 25,000 bright dust right now.
Nice.
Would you actually spend money for bright dust if they had that as an option?
No,
Sure.
which is why I do the bounties, because it's free. It's like free money. Anything.
Yeah.
You have all these things that like, oh, you can buy this for 1,000 silver, but most of the time it's like when you wait 3 weeks, it's for bright dust. So
it doesn't necessarily mean a money option would only be very expensive. I mean, in theory, they could have some option for $5, gives you tons of bright dust, but
I mean, it's actually a good it's a good like premium currency balance, because you have the premium currency, which is silver, but silver dust is your free to play method. And I do enjoy the fact that the difference between the two, which as a premium currency versus non should be, in my opinion, is the fact that premium currency will cost you money, whereas the free to play route costs you time.
Yep. And I mean, most people, a lot of the people, you ask them like, well, time is money, and they're not completely wrong, but it's one of those. I'm going to do a raid. I'm going to grab the bounties. If I'm doing the whatever the seasonal events, I'm going to grab the bounties, even though those are only XP. If I'm going into like this past weekend, I was doing Grandmasters, so I went and grabbed Vanguard bounties. Like I'm going to be in there anyways. Might as well just get it.
But that's not my definition of running bounties, and I think Gators either. Yes, everyone should do that. You're stupid not to grab bounties if you need to level up your season pass. But do you actually ever grab bounties just because, and then you look what they say and you're on? Gotcha.
Oh no, I do that too. Like if there's if I'm not gonna run the GM for the week, like I'm probably not gonna do it this week, and I'll go grab Vanguard bounties, and if it says use a glaive and use a hand cannon, which I hardly ever use either, like I will switch to those and run through however much of a strike I have to get the kills with them.
There
and
you
then
go.
switch
So you're
out
a true bounty
when it's
person.
done.
Yeah, you're a true bounty person. That's my definition running bounties, because it's like you're picking them up because you actually want to do them for some reason other than you might as well. You're losing out if you don't pick up certain ones when you're doing activities. Yep.
Right.
Oh no.
That's kind of where people draw the line if they love bounties or not.
Oh, I do it those ways too.
Yeah.
Usually run solar or whatever you run for a crucible. If it says like get void ability kills, like okay, well I guess I'm running this one void now. So yeah, that's definitely how I do bounties most of the time. And
do you feel like doing that has ever caused, and I know it's minor, but do you feel like doing those have ever caused minor problems with playing it because you're not playing it the most efficient way?
No.
You don't feel like that? Okay, that's good.
No, if I ever just want to gung ho it, then I'll switch the weapons that I'm best at it with. Like again, I'm one of the weird ones. I actually like playing Gambit, and one of the best builds I like using is a hung jury. And I always forget the name of the trace rifle, even though I use it all the time. The ruinous effigy, and just a heavy, any heavy rockets, whatever. And if you've never taken Ruinous Effigy in a Gambit match, I recommend it because it is so much fun. Like as long as you kill one small enemy, grab that ball and go dunk it, like just slam it in the middle of a group of enemies, you'll kill everything around you.
Yeah. See, you like Gambit, you liked Final Fantasy 15. You're a man after my own heart. I love it.
There you go.
I enjoy playing Gambit. I'll even play it by myself. I don't care.
Yeah, I like Gambit.
Hipster.
Yeah.
Hipsters,
I
all
tell
of you.
people all
You
the
hate it.
time. I have what is it, like 32 Army of Ones in there now?
It's come a long way.
Nice.
I think they got it decently balanced now. So
I'll definitely play Gambit with a group. I don't even like to play Crucible with a group, but I'll play Gambit with a group.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. Definitely has some potential there. Okay. Well, let's talk about this week in Destiny.
Twab.
The twin.
Twid.
I just like calling it This Week in Destiny. You guys can call it whatever you want.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. They're switching it to yeah
Mhm.
yeah
we're
because
gonna have other games.
Bungie
But I'd be
isn't
curious when
just
they're gonna,
Destiny now.
when Matter and Marathon come out. What are they gonna call those two?
Ooh.
Twim.
Two M's, right? Well, one of them's going to be the Twim, but what's the other one going to be? You can't even.
Matter will be the
'cause
name.
they're both,
Isn't that the
they're
code name?
both MA. I don't know.
Hmm.
But right
I just
now
can't
they're
wait
in
till-
this dilemma.
I can't wait till somebody's playing Marathon and then they get a contesting Destiny servers when they're playing in it.
They won't.
You actually think that'll happen? From
No.
what I understand, they're going to have so much protection. They have a whole different server infrastructure for that game. I guarantee it.
They're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
dedicated servers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About damn time.
So I mean, they need a different infrastructure. Because it's just the difference between dedicated and peer to peer. So I mean,
They
the
talked
good
about
news.
that this week too.
Shut up. Let me talk about it. God.
But Des, let me talk about. No, go for it. You
Alright.
talk about it.
No. Hilariously, we already went through half of the TWAB or TWID. Sorry, it's going to take me a while. We went through half of it with Lucky Week. It's a thing. But no, the meat of this TWID is freaking Tech Talk, which I knew Kingsley just had a field day reading over some of this stuff.
I mean, honestly, I haven't got bored with some of it. They talked a little
They
too
did.
much on the history. I'm like, just get
Yeah.
to the what you're going to do to fix it.
They overmansplained it.
They did mansplain it too much.
But no, yeah. So they talk about a lot of the server security, safety net stuff, especially what they call the claim side, which the claim side is it keeps track of like everything. It keeps track of where your character is, like where it should be, where it is on your side, where it is on server side, where every piece, like every orb of power is, where every piece of glimmer is, and making sure it goes all to the right places and at the right times. Which is super impressive whenever they put it that way, that it even works to begin with, because that's a lot of stuff in Destiny to be keeping track of. And you multiply that by like 3 in your fire team, and potentially, what's the zone's limit? 12? Still?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway. So, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. But, so, some of their issues comes with claim side, and it's not behaving properly, not 100% properly, which is one reason why they occasionally have to like take Destiny down, is because some things don't work themselves out properly. So they have to kind of take it down, they have to kind of fix it, and the claim side thing is like the services side main priority to fix right now.
Yeah. And again, the reason why this even started, because things were working before, but ironically, all this started from their idea of wanting to upgrade their server infrastructure. And when they started all that, that's when all this hell started breaking loose.
Now, hilariously, because they want to. This is the kicker for me, and I'm wondering if it isn't the reason for them even talking about it. I think they're trying to potentially infer the fact that this engine could be going on for longer than we think.
Well, game
Potentially.
engine probably. Yeah. Hmm.
Because they're talking about like wanting to upgrade things for major releases beyond Lightfall, major releases beyond Lightfall, and it's like there's only one that we know of. So yeah, I think this is like, I think a lot of this talk might also kind of be a sly, we've got more stuff planned, you know, because
Yeah.
I just personally found that weird that they would mention like future releases and safeguarding for future, and it's like, yeah, okay, but no, yeah, right now, they are 100% looking to work on claims and make sure it's quote unquote, their quotes, by the way, self-healing can actually work properly, so they don't have to take Destiny like down again. So essentially, as far as what I'm gathering, like once this service gets like fixed and ironed out, it will not only like allow for better fixes, potentially like better server side fixes, it almost sounds like, in the future, but also like heavy congested, like when the servers get congested, because you can always tell, or at least could have in the past, you can always tell when things were like at a peak in Destiny time for servers, because certain motes and things were drastically difficult to pick up, which is a claim side issue. So again, they're looking to iron that out and make all that smoother for congestion, as well as potentially better modulated for better fixes in the future.
Yeah.
And if you want to read the entire paragraph, have at it.
Go for it. But I would like to give my little TLDR. Where the rubber meets the road, basically, is mid-season patch coming out, I don't know, a few weeks or whatever, update 7.1.5. Things may get a little bit better. Basically, what they're planning on doing is having some things in place where they will minimize the length of problems. So even if we're still having some server downtimes, they are hoping that with this mid-season patch, they won't be as bad. So things may get a little bit better mid-season. Next season, beginning of season 22, that's another milestone. They said the things will be in place of kind of finalizing a lot of, not totally finalizing, but finalizing some bigger things that they've been working on. So things should get even better beginning of next season, with a lot of fancy words they use with self-healing and changing claims over to auto system over to other places where even if something was to go down, it can kind of self-heal immediately in theory.
Yes.
And then season 23, more changes, but that was even more vague. So those are the roadmaps, maybe a little bit better mid-season, and then I would say even more moderately better beginning of next season if we were to take their word for it.
Yeah. I think Hammer put it the best way in chat. It's a lot harder to renovate a house with the people living in it. We are the people living in the house under construction.
Yeah.
Because
for sure. Go ahead, RNG.
Yeah. It's just like at work right now, we're upgrading our server team. One of the things is getting all the servers upgraded to, I think, 2019. So, and they were talking about draining servers the other day that Bungie was. I'm like, I know exactly what they're doing. They're just kicking it out, draining them. I'm like, they're probably needing to upgrade them to a newer version of a server. It's probably what they need. They're probably waited too long, got too many of them built up, and they're trying to catch up.
Is it not working anymore?
Now, that there's so many ways to play this. We give them a lot of benefit of the doubt, and we should, and I continue to do so, especially since now they're telling us more. I do feel like they still probably could have done a better job. It's not like doing this, you have to have as much downtime as you're having. There are ways to do it where it can go a little more reliably, but we do have to expect some issues also. So it's kind of one of those, both things are true. I hope that they get things figured out as quickly as they can. And with this information, and especially if things get even just slightly better, and then more better season 23, then I think we're okay, everyone. Hopefully Bungie's getting past the big time of the issues.
You mean money that's spent on Destiny is actually going back into Destiny?
I don't care where the money is. Let's hope that they can get the people to do this.
I wouldn't say none of it is going back into Destiny, but definitely not all of it's going into Destiny.
Well, of course
I mean,
not.
Of course
you
not.
can't be too naive to think that like when we all pay for the final shape, like that's all going into whatever they're doing next.
This is not even just a money issue. That if I had to guess, this is 60% to 90% just a talent and not planning issue good enough, not a money issue. That's what I'm guessing this is.
It's like I heard a quote. They said, so Bungie is a company. They started with, let's say, Halo. If there wasn't no Halo, there wouldn't be Destiny. If there wasn't no Destiny, there wouldn't be Marathon. If there wasn't no Marathon, it wouldn't be these games build on each other. They're a company. I mean, this is the way it works. I mean, companies. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I mean,
it's probably hard finding good talent still too. I see this all the time. Like, I have such good security in a lot of my companies doing contract work because there's like they're looking to hire IT guys, all these very specific skills, and they're just not finding these people. And it's got to be the same thing with Bungie server infrastructure team. For all we know, a lot left for higher paying things, and they're having a hard time finding the talent. And people, maybe they got some newer, sorry, no offense, but younger people, on that claim they know these things really well. And then they're like, yeah, we'll do it good, this, and this, but they just don't have enough life experience yet to, we didn't think of this little edge case, and now we're getting those repercussions.
That definitely kind of sounds like it, because I believe they mentioned in the paragraph the fact that they tested these changes, but these issues did not surface until being implemented into live service. So it was something that happened with size.
Like I say, you probably test just fine with 20, 50 people, but when you start putting thousands of people into
it's different. Yeah,
it's gonna act a little differently. It's gonna run a little harder.
Your load's gonna get, the load on the server is gonna get bigger. So.
And talking about where the money is going, I mean, we do have to remember also, Bungie is business. Any business's primary goal, no matter how like philanthropic they are, or how I said that wrong, either way, but no matter how like gracious and whatever they are, they're business, and the primary goal of a business is to make money, because they have to keep going as a business. They have to make money to, they have to pay current. They have to have a cushion just in case things go down. They have to be able to pay for future projects, and they have to be able to pay for future staff for future projects. I mean, it's a business. They gotta make money.
That's kind of how I was. I was listening to the Two Titans and Hunter, and when Parody was saying the same thing, I was just, if he could only hear me, like, yes, thank you. Yeah. It's like, people are so mad. It's like, do you guys not understand what happens on the back end of these things? Like, it doesn't just come out of thin air. Like, they have to pay for things.
Exactly. And to think about, like, just the cushion that they had to save, like, it's old news by now, but to buy their, like, contract or whatever it was from Activision to own Destiny again. I mean, just imagine like how much they had to cut back and like save it back just to be able to make that move.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know.
Well, I think I think they did a good job of coming out with this information this week, because if they hadn't and we were still continuing having a lot of issues, it's just odd, because they are usually pretty communicative with us, and regardless of all the above saying, they can still get to a point where even us that love Bungie are like, come on, dude, you got to get these server issues or at least communicate to us what's happening. But they did it finally. Yay. So for us being Bungie shills, I think we're okay right now.
Hey, you say that like
lovingly.
you know me.
I say that lovingly.
It's IT Kingsley. When it works, they love us. When it don't work,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You're the first person they blame.
we're the devil. We're the devil,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's our fault. Yep,
Even when it's the vendor's fault.
exactly.
Oh,
you're-
you know what I'm
you're-
talking about.
You're either the savior that pulls them out of the fire, or you're Satan. Yeah, sounds about right.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, anything else in the TWID that you want to talk about, Des, or anyone else?
They make a
Twid.
special.
Twid,
They
twid,
make a
twid, twid.
special. They make a special mention. It's super weird that the Witness Origin trailer or cutscene will be visible after Lightfall.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
Yeah, I
mentioned.
saw that.
So that's strange to me. Like, why? I mean, to be fair, it is actually a huge piece that will like supplement if anybody new comes to Final Shape. That thing can like supplement some knowledge, but also that just seems super weird that this seasonal cutscene seemingly is being made like super available. That's just an odd decision to me. So yeah, that's it.
I mean, maybe we'll hear about more too. And maybe this is the first of it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I can only hope we get more fantastic revelations, where I can again be proven wrong that we're gonna know so much, and no, we
No,
don't.
yeah.
I think a lot of it's just appeasing the community right now because they got a little bit of a backlash by some of the higher tiered people that make content. So I think that was a good PR move on their point to get it out. But it just proves my point that the content creators are assholes and just need to shut up and deal with it.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yep.
Most of them. I mean, again, because
Most people are fine, but yeah, I get it.
no. Most. Here's the thing. Content creators are like a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to keep their longevity, and they have to look out for number one. But the way they look out for number one is their popularity.
Yeah.
So they have to stay like popular and relevant, or they can't pay their bills.
And think of it this way.
Yeah.
People complain about their jobs when things aren't going right. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's their jobs. And then they complain, you complain about your employer if they make choices you don't like. Well, these people are complaining about their employer, Bungie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I think our job is to ignore a lot of the ones that make a lot of noise. But
there
I get
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
I ignore most of them, actually. I haven't watched them in forever. Go watch Mylan. He's fantastic, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Generally, I like Fallout Plays. He's good.
Fallout's a good one, too.
Yeah, Fallout's good people. He actively also is a content creator that flies in the face of the algorithm. So he's
He
fantastic.
talked about, that video that I posted, he was talking about this, and he's even considering maybe not being Destiny only. He did CSGO, and it didn't work out well for him, but he was just talking about what he wants to do and what he's trying to be proactive and say, like, well, maybe I won't be Bungie full time, or maybe I will. But it was cool just hearing the real talk from him.
Yeah, but also if he's going to do that, he's going to need a separate channel entirely. Because the way YouTube's algorithm works, it bundles content. So if you get pigeonholed into a content and then you post another thing that's not that content, it actually does not get the traction that it should.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's a game you have to play. It's why I never wanted to go into that stuff. More power for everyone who makes YouTube videos, who does Twitch and stuff. And I knew this way back. I could have started Twitch when no one was doing it, and D1, D2, and probably have built up something by now.
Right.
But I even saw the writing on the wall back then. Even with having some time, I'm like, no, you kind of get beholden to what people want you to do and what the game wants you to do. And I don't want to do that in the long run.
Yeah, the best thing to do, well, I guess for any aspiring content creator out there, the best thing to do, just from what I've seen from like successful ones and like nice ones and such, just kind of don't be a dick. It's kind of that simple. If you like variety, stream variety. In fact, variety isn't like a bad thing, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I've never understood. Like, I've said on RNG, like, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a singular thing. Because once that thing fails, you're screwed.
Well, I mean,
or if you don't care,
yeah.
Like if you're but if you're doing it for money, for sure,
Well,
Yeah,
two of the
I
people
mean-
I started watching Destiny with, King Gathalion and Lupo. King Gathalion was streaming nothing but Destiny, and he saw it as it, even early in D1 when he had content drought, he went and did Borderlands and other stuff. People loved it.
Well, you see,
and now
that's the
he's
thing,
a
though.
great variety streamer. He comes back and does Destiny, but he's going to go do other stuff, and people know that now, and he still gets the views, because he
Yeah.
he made it.
No, the hilarious thing about Gathalion and Broman specifically is they took a chance on Destiny. They were speedrunners.
Yeah.
They had existing communities. Yeah, they had existing communities, and they took a massive hit just to like mainline Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they still, like you said, they persevered, they trudged through it, and they're still like massive. And I mean, good Lord, Broman he still has the coffee, right?
Yeah, they got. I
Yes.
mean, think about it. They started King's Coast. They started Guardian Con, and they've gotten out of that.
They're
now
smart.
that other people run it. They just
They are smart.
business, get them going, and get to something else. I mean, they are smart. Yeah,
diversify, get into different things.
Exactly.
I mean, with my IT stuff too, I was very specialized what I did, and today I do so many more things with security and cloud and stuff. And you gotta do that if you just want to be relevant. Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's just a game that no matter. It's content creation is like a business. You've got to find what works for you, or trudge through and suffer until it potentially does. I mean, it's all risk reward. Are you willing to risk it for a reward?
Yeah, and that's what I love about how our podcast works also, and a lot of the Destiny podcasts. I know maybe some, especially ones in the past, were trying to do it more for business reasons potentially, but joking about like, content creators should just, do what they want and not listen to people complaining like, oh, you should just run raids all day or PvP all day or whatever. But if, I joke like, well, if people told us, you guys should just talk about certain things in the game. Sorry, we'll talk about what we want to talk about. Although we do love all your feedback, everyone.
Yeah,
but
we do.
We are doing this. What's our cost benefit ratio, Des? Nothing. We're not making any money.
Yeah, I mean this. You can't threaten a man with nothing to lose, and we literally have nothing to lose because we don't have like anything in this. We're not getting anything out of this. I mean, there's nothing for us to lose. But I mean, that's why amidst certain critiques, I still go over the lore because I love it and I know it. So I mean, I still go over it. So I apologize if that's not your thing, but it's what I love, and it's always what I've like really put forward above anything else. I'm more than just a one-trick pony, okay? I don't just know lore. I know a lot. But lore, for whatever reason, is what shines through. So I guess I do kind of get pigeonholed, just a little, because I do like to talk about a lot of things. But I do get kind of pigeonholed into the lore. But it's fine because I love it, and it's crazy and it's weird. But anyhow, content creation, do that thing. Just be you amped up to like 11. Be like a wrestler, essentially. The most successful wrestling gimmicks are the wrestlers that are essentially themselves, but like amped up to 11.
Yeah.
Like right now, take Roman Reigns. He is. Yeah. Everybody hates him, but he does it so damn well. Yeah.
And right now, he is more himself than he has ever been.
Yep.
Another fantastic approach to taking yourself and amping up to 11 is The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
He truly was kind of a despicable asshole, like back in the day, but now that he has kids, I mean, you hear like behind the scenes and such, he's a completely different person now, but he's still that same lovable asshole in the ring.
Yep.
So yeah, just be you. Just amp it up to 11. And if it works, it works. But if it doesn't, well, you either adapt or die.
Yep. And
Diversify, though.
if I mean, it sounds like Destiny is going to be around forever, anyways, because there's stuff after Final Shape, yada yada. But if for some reason there wasn't, we have such a chill thing going here, and if I didn't care about Matter, maybe one of y'all could keep it going or whatever. But maybe I would say, okay, I'm done because I don't care about Marathon. But it is. We have less to lose. You're right, because we don't have as much invested.
I'll turn this into a Final Fantasy podcast, and you can all suffer.
I'm with you.
There's room for everything.
Because if there's one thing I know better than Destiny lore, it's the crazy world of Final Fantasy and Square Enix. Also, speaking of which, fantastic news from a Nintendo Direct. They are remaking Super Mario RPG.
RPG.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard something about that.
Hilariously, another classic Square Enix game.
Speaking of that, you guys been paying attention.
They need to
the
quit
FTC
screwing
stuff?
around and remake Chrono Trigger. I'm tired of this shit.
That's not going to happen.
I know it's not.
One of the creators is like one of the major people latched on to Chrono Trigger has like his own studio now, and he's making an issue with it now. So that's once once I learned that, I stopped begging for Chrono Trigger like anything, because I play Final Fantasy gachas and I want Chrono Trigger characters in my games.
Yep.
But that's probably not going to happen.
Like it was a great game, but because of the three main people that they used for it were used for it, it's like that's never going to be redone.
Yeah, I mean, Hironobu Sakaguchi isn't a problem. It's just, it's like Armor Games or something like that. Whatever studio he runs now, but yeah, it's sad. But no, so yeah. Also, speaking of which, hilariously, Square Enix basically has a monopoly on the greatest RPGs on the SNES.
Yeah.
I mean, Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, all fantastic RPGs done by Square Enix.
Another Super Mario Brothers game they announced. A new one, actually.
Oh it's
really
like
good.
It's
too.
it's like a new 2D one. Yeah,
platform one. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys paying attention to the FTC lawsuit going on right now?
No, can you give us the TLDR on that? I mean, a little bit, but
yes.
Seems like you
Nintendo's
have.
coming out with a new Switch real soon. They got leaked out today by Activision CEO.
Oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna make Call of Duty for the Switch.
Oh.
The new consoles are coming out in 2028. The Xbox 720 and the PlayStation 6. But they're going back and forth. There's like emails. At one point, Xbox had Bungie on their list to buy as a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that.
So,
well, that was probably before the Sony thing, anyways, right?
Sony.
Yeah.
Well, that was before Sony, yes.
Yeah.
But they were on a list with a couple other ones.
Yeah.
CD
We
Projekt
heard that
Red
rumor. Yeah.
is possibly being bought by Xbox. There's all kinds of stuff going on. They're all bickering back at each other. They're talking about if this does go through, that Activision going forward will get no development kits from PlayStation for games going forward. So It's just been interesting. There's a lot out there to digest. So
yeah, I got a buddy of mine. He's in a few of the local all of us with our Discords and everything. He uses his name Squirtle, and the guy's like my go-to for any video game knowledge. Like the guy knows everything. He was telling me all about the whole Activision and Microsoft thing today, and he's like, it's not looking good for Microsoft at all. Like, yeah, no, it's not.
Why would Microsoft even want Activision after Activision's entire faux pas anyway?
God,
they want
no idea.
It's like,
I mean, it's got to be the game. It's got to be the
Blizzard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be like the game library, essentially. Like they just don't care about the publicity.
It's that and their
Yeah.
mobile platform they got, because they got King too, I think, as the mobile games.
Mm,
King Studios.
yeah.
So
Huh.
they're trying to get.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
and
all just,
Candy Crush people, yeah.
it's equity. I mean,
But even if they were to get to Activision, I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to have less competition out there, but maybe they should just chill out on trying all this stuff and just find other ways to compete.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
going to change the market. That's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Change
mean,
how things are done.
Yeah.
but probably just. I mean, it's not really much different than the old console wars between Nintendo and Sega, anyway. To be honest. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a new generation of kids now get to go through that, of like first party developers and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I was watching a video of the guy today. He was talking about how you used to get all this random like good stuff in these like premium kits. Now you get like operator skins and extra XP nowadays. So it's not like you're getting the RC car, or the drone, or the binoculars, or whatever you're getting in like the collector's edition sets. You're getting like operator skins.
Yeah. I mean, that even in computer stuff in the computer world, from vendors and from Apple companies I work with, they would send us tons of swag all the time, like in the early 2000s, like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff in the mail for just being a vendor, being a consultant and stuff like that. And now it's like, you know, you're lucky if you get a little free code for the software if you promote the software. That's like best case scenario. Yeah. Different
Well,
world.
I mean, I think that's the thing also, because I mean, I think that might be like, I probably shouldn't start talking about that. Never mind. That's a rabbit hole. I'm going to stop myself there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop myself there. We're going to go on for like another 30 minutes if I start that. So I'm just going to put that one to bed right there.
There you
We'll
go.
need to continue the next week, but I do want to say, yeah, because it's a good point. You said that, Des, too, because I was going to start wrapping up here, but no, thanks for saying that, Rodimus and Miners. Pleasure having you on. Any other? But since you are the newest guest here, any other things on your mind before we close up shop here? But even if not, after you talk about anything, tell us what your favorite dessert is.
After I talk about it, I don't have anything else to say. I'm more of a savory guy than a dessert guy. And it's really funny because I'm pretty much the cook in my house, and my wife has, within the last, I'd say 10 years, turned into the baker, and she makes this. It's like a blueberry buttermilk pie that she makes that I absolutely love. It's amazing. And that's probably my favorite dessert, honestly.
Sounds amazing.
But as far as everything else goes, no, there's not really much on my mind. I just popped in to say hi.
Well, so glad you could make it tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Great pleasure. And of course, thank you, RNG. Thank you, Rodimus. It's always nice to hear what we're all doing in the game, especially since like maybe, not as many things are going on in Destiny right now. There's always tons to talk about. And I love to hear what people are doing in the games and everything like that. So,
yeah. Hopefully because I'm on my phone, so hopefully the feedback wasn't too bad.
No. Sounds good quality. Like phone, like a headset or anything, or just speakerphone?
No, just a speakerphone.
Wow.
That actually sounds super good for a speakerphone.
It does. Yeah.
The good old Samsung. I am not an Apple guy.
I'm a man after my own heart. I keep saying
That has
it.
nothing to do with it. I hear good quality in the Apple ones too.
I've had both.
I'm not a tech guy, so I will absolutely take your word for it.
Yeah, I just like fair information. You're not going to get me to not say something against that, but I will agree that the Samsung that you're on has really good quality. How new of a phone is it?
It's the Ultra 23, so pretty new. It just came out recently.
Samsung 8.
Yeah.
Well, I would have an older one.
they put more microphones and stuff, so it does help with the voice echoing and
Yeah.
cancellation and all
Well,
that.
see, and I would have an older phone, but I just happenstance accident on the Samsungs that are supposed to have unbreakable screens. Not when you accidentally drop a bottle of hot sauce on it. Apparently, that's what happened to my last one. I was just looking up a recipe, set it down, bottle of hot sauce fell out of the cupboard, and literally cracked my screen. And I was like,
sorry to hear
"That's
that.
not supposed to be possible. What the hell?"
Oh, that sucks,
So-
man.
Yeah,
best hot
and it
sauce in
just
the
so
world.
happened.
Yeah,
The
it must have been
day-
really hot.
Well, yeah, right. Well, actually, the bottle is called the hottest fucking sauce. So,
See, there you go. There you go.
and it was really funny because I get no end to the grief I get from my wife because the day it happened, and I didn't know this. The day it happened was the day that the current phone that I have came out. So,
Well,
No. It's like, sure, accident.
yeah, and I asked the guy, I'm like, so when's the next new phone coming out? He's like, right now, this is it. I'm like, no, shut up. He's like, no,
No
I'm
way.
dead serious. This is the phone. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, keep this phone, sir. It
Fantastic.
sounds like a good one.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. I love that. That's
Fantastic.
great.
Well, people can find you as Miner in the Discord, or you have a different name. How do people
No,
find you?
no, it's just most of the time it's Miner in the Discord unless we do something, fun in the Patreon channel of the Guardian Downcast. You can find me on, and I'm always on PS5 as Mr. Miner 17. So, funny name there. And
Sure.
Bungie's it's Mr. Miner 17 #1717.
Whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
Gotta be some
Branding.
crazy. There's got to be some crazy algorithm there what gave me those numbers. So.
Right. That's nice. Lucky. You need to buy a lottery ticket, man.
Yeah, right.
All right. RNG, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being a mod. Thanks for being in the community. And thanks for being a nice, chill person to talk to us this evening. Any way people can get a hold of you, they know you as RNG Gator in the Discord.
Yep. You can find me as RNG Gator in the Discord, it's Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Same name.
Excellent. Rodimus, love having you on. Always appreciate your opinion
No
and
problem.
how you help us keep channels in track because we don't need to worry about it, but we know you would help us anyways.
a
People can
problem.
find you as what, Big Rod Prime right now?
Big Rat Prime here. I just updated my actual Discord name because Rodimus Prime was taken, so I used Rodimus Productions.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Is that a hint to anything coming up?
Maybe there's something coming down the line.
Nice.
All right.
Working on some stuff right now.
Speaking
All
of
right.
that, I couldn't even take my name. My name's his name.
Yeah, I couldn't pick my name either. I had to change it to Dude, It's Miner.
I'm sorry, guys. I was able to get mine. I got it a few weeks ago too. Probably,
Yeah,
I don't know
me
how
too.
long I've had Discord compared to you guys, but Kingsley Mac, I knew was already one that probably wouldn't be taken by anyone else. So when they did have us do it, I got Kingsley Mac again.
Nice.
Well, but hey, that was Rodimus Productions is good, and yeah. So Des, yours again was what?
Well, in the Discord, I am currently Deserac, but as my truest Discord name, I had to go long form with Death Switch Raven. So,
That works.
yeah.
So people can find you as that.
Yes, Deserac or Des Mr. Heartbreak Raven in the Guardian Downcast Discord, because that is a funny inside joke. Come join us, play Marvel Snap, and yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Join over there to see what they're talking about. And Sin, who knows how you can find him? He's probably selling cars right now or driving on a long drive. But shout out Sin, sorry you couldn't make it tonight.
Or refinishing
And
countertops.
yes, with posting
Or the
pictures
flooring.
on how that is going.
the paneling.
Shout out to getting all that done, Mr. Sin, the handyman media. I don't know what I'm saying. He's better at those last minute quibs than I am. And you can find me as Kingsley Mac all the places. everywhere, including Twitter, even though I don't really do Twitter anymore. And you can find our show as The Guardian Hub by that name on Twitter or our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Des. And thank you, everyone else that joined the podcast tonight. And very special thanks to the guests listening in and all you listening this week to the podcast. We will catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.